So today we have this tutorial how to create a star rating component in React step by step. So here is the objective: create a simple star rating component in React, allowing users to rate items by clicking on stars. The outcome should look like this, and here we have setting up the project. First we have this command npx create React app, so this will be the project name or the directory name. But first we copy this command and we will start. Next, here we have cd, this stands for change directory, so this is the project name as you can see here. And next we have npm start. Happy coding. But first I would like to show you here, for example, when you go to an online shop to do some shopping. For example, here amazon.com/marketplace. As you can see here, the products, all of them have this kind of rating here. So we will use React to see how we can explore one of the technology behind this kind of rating. So let's get started. So first we need Visual Studio Code where we will develop the application. Here I have it installed, and I will select it here and double click on it. Here we have new window. We come here. Now we have this Visual Studio Code opened, but it is empty, so you can close this welcome file, for example, and use your mouse to come down here until you see this blue line highlighted. You can double click on your mouse and drag it up. So we will use the terminal here to create the project. First we paste this first command here. So npx create React app. So this name can be changed if you want. And then we start the project. It will probably take time, and I will pause the video. When this is finished, then we will continue.
A few minutes later.
So as you can see here, the project has been initialized, and we can go here. cd star rating demo is the same as here, and npm start. So here you can just copy from here, or you can write it. And now we are in this project directory. Then npm start. And let's see what's coming out. So as you can see here, we have this basic React from this local host 3000 port. So here we will start working on the project. So the URL used here coming from this place. And next here we will open the project. You can find it from where you have stored the project and open it, so that we will start doing some files and some update. And here I will click on this open folder and find the project. So make sure you find this same project folder name when you go here and try to find it. So now I have my project opened here, and you still can close this welcome file. Here you can select this port, double click, go to open in integrated terminal, and again you can write your npm start here to restart the project. So now we still have the same basic React app there. And what we can do first, we go to this folder source, we can open it. Here we have this app.js. So what you are seeing here is almost coming from this port. So we will update this port and create two files. Bring this down here, and let's make this a little bit bigger for now. First we create two files. So to create a file here in this same folder, we can select this source here, you double click on it, go to new file, and then you can write your file name. So I will put the file name here, starrating.js. So you can even copy this file name and create the same CSS file with this one. So here we have this file, and again we come back here, we create a CSS file here, and we can start working on this. So for now, let's, for example, get rid of whatever is here and save. And if we come back here, you can see there is empty. We have no components coming from this app to this URL. Let's make sure that we have this star rating, not start rating. So if you want to update the file name, you can select it, come to this place, rename here, and again you can get rid of or add whatever you want. I do the same for the CSS file. Here we will just do star rating, and now the file's name have been updated. So here we will start by importing React, but before we start writing codes here, I have to mention this. We have here Copilot integrated with this VS Code. If you have it or not, the project still will work, but I have it here to help me and find some suggestions so that it will not take more time to write the same thing over and over again. So if there are some suggestions working with the same logic I would like, then I will accept the suggestions coming from this Copilot. If not, then I have to write everything by myself, but sometime also I can take some suggestions from this Copilot and try to update it to the logic I would like it to be. So here we start to import the React library. So when we will finish writing the codes and everything is okay, then I will explain line by line while we will have here our own rating stars. So here we have to import use states for our components to be updated, and next we can import this CSS file here. So import, so we import this file inside here, and down below we will define, as you can see here, we have this suggestion, and this will be the functional component. It has a good start, but we will not have this kind of thing. So we can get rid of this one here, and we have const star rating as a functional component, and inside here we will have to state variables, so those are correct, and we will try to just do some additional thing inside here. So let's see what we can get rid of. So we have this return statement, and inside it we will define what will be rendered from this return statement. So those two here, which you have seen rating and hover, those are state variables. So we use this set rating and set hover to update them. So they are initialized here with this React hook use state and with the value of 0. So here we have this div container tag, and this is a good start, but for now let's, for example, get rid of what is here, and here I can change this I to index, and then here I can say index +1, so we increment it to 1. So next we have here return. To return the buttons, the stars will be like buttons inside. We will use a return here. Let's see if this is the way we want it. So we accept it by just tapping on this tab key on the keyboard. As you can see, is almost what I want. So if this works, I will explain line by line here what every line is doing. So at the end here we have just, I think, to export this. So this functional component is being exported to to be imported somewhere and be used. We can save it. There is something missing here. First, we have to define a class attribute here. So we give it a name, star rating. So we will use this star rating inside our CSS. Okay, now let's start working on this star rating CSS file. To style this div container, we will use this selector here as the value of this class name attribute, star rating. We put dot here because it is here a class attribute to style this div container. All right, let's come to this place here. We paste our selector. So then we can work on this display, let's say flex, and so direction, let's say row here, and next we can use the same selector here. So let's come back here, and we have here on and off, which I will explain why they are here in this position. So we will need those two here. Let's come here, right, so I can accept this one and put here on. When the star is on, what I would like is for the color, here I can write color gold. So almost here we have the same thing. We can just copy this one, come down below here and change this on to off and change the color here. Let's say we want it to be gray when the star rating is off. And next we can come back here and again paste what we just have copied from here, and we need to get this button. This is a tag here. As every star will be a button, we will get this button here to do the styling. Let's say here button, and we can change inside what happens. Inside we can go with background, let's say to none. So background none, border none, and here we can go with cursor here, let's say pointer. We can save this one. If we will need to come back to this place, we will come back to check if everything is working. So again we come to this place here. So in this file we will start also to import the React library. We just write import, then React from React, and we import this file. So import star rating from star rating here, because the two files are in the same folder here. So ./star rating. So then we come down here, we define this functional component here. As you can see the suggestion, I can accept this one and also this one. Let's see if there is export here. Export default app. Let's save this one. And as you can see, there is something going on here. So when we hover on those stars, the color is changing. And what about if we click on this? Seems that is working. And let's again. All right. Okay, so we can even add a picture there to make it more realistic. You can go to the internet here, find a good picture. Computer here, you can find an image here to import. Try to use it as a product image. So here, give this a name like product one. And I come back to the VS Code. Let's take this image and import it inside our own source folder here. So the image is imported, and then what we can do, we can even delete this one, no longer needed. Then what we can do here, import the image inside. So this will be the image name. So we will just change this one, product one, and inside here we can give a message like first be click on a star to rate the product. So this is a good one, we can accept it, and then we import the image. As you can see the suggestion here, but in React there is a different alternative. So we can change here, like give a name product1 from. Now we can use this name here, product1, and put it here inside curly braces. First let's get rid of this curly braces there, and we write the product name. Let's save. So as you can see here, a basic image to make this demo. Now we can rate this one. Let's start explaining those parts, what's going on here. First of all, let's start by this part here. On the first line, we have imported React from the React library. We use this React library to create the components inside our application. And those two lines, we have imported this star rating file, this one here, and the second is just the image, this one. We have defined here this functional component, which we have named app. And inside it here is a return statement. Inside this return statement, we will decide what will be rendered. So here we have a div. Inside this div tag container, we have h1, which is star rating. We have it here. And again, we have this. So this p tag here is for paragraph. So we have here the paragraph, so the users will know what to do. We have here the image, img tag here. Here we have two attributes. We have source, so we get this image from here to here, and this is the alternative. And this alternative is, for example, if somehow this image didn't show up, so we have something to let the user or users know that there is an image which should have been here, for example. So this is just for the accessibility in programming. And here we have imported this star rating component coming from here, and this is just export default if you need to import it somewhere and use it. Let's come to this part here. As you know, first we have here React library to create React components. So this is use state, a React hook. We use it to add some state in functional component. For example, if we need to change or update certain parts, usually we use React hooks. Then this is one of them, and we have imported here this CSS file. Next we have here const star rating. This is a functional component. So from there to here, everything is inside this functional component. Here we have two state variables. The first state variable is this rating, and it has this hook here, which we have imported, and we initialize it to 0. And this set rating here is to update this part. And the same for this one. This is also a state variable, and we initialize it with this 0 using this use state hook. And to update it, we use this set hover over. For example, if we reload this one, by default, none of those stars will be selected. So it should be 0, 0. So let's reload here. And as you can see, everything is 0. Because we have it here. What if we add, for example, here 1 and see what happens, and we save it? As you can see, this is 1 here. So that's why it's good to have 0 here. The user can decide how many stars to give. So we go back here to 0 and we save it. So I have a warning here, unexpected Unicode boom. So if you have this kind of warning, you can come to this place, UTF-8 with bool, and select this one, come to this place, save with encoding, and select this part. So I no longer have that warning. I wanted just to say that you have to make sure that npm start is running. So here we have this return statement. Inside this return statement, we decide what to be rendered. So here again, we have this div container tag here. From here to here, everything is inside the div container. Here we have this class name attribute. To style this div container, we have used this one inside the CSS file here to style this div part. So all those stars, they are inside a div container. Here, as you can see, between curly braces, we have, again, between square brackets here, this is a spread operator in React, ... And we have an array with 5 elements. So those 5 elements are here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each element here is stored inside this array. We have this map function or method to iterate through this array of 5 elements so that we can display all those elements here. Inside this map function, we have this argument index, which we have used to index our elements inside this array function, because the array has 5 elements. So here we have this index equals to index plus 1. So we increment this index by 1. What that means, when we want to index something from an array, usually we have to start by 0. What if you don't want to start by 0, you want to start by 1? So here, this is one logic to do that, because this should be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because we have incremented the index, the indexing will start by 1. So we have now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our indexing is the same as our array size here, because we start by 1. And here we have this return. What it does, it returns every button here. This star here is a button. Also this is a button. This is a button. This is a button. Also this is a button. So we have them here inside this button tag. So here are the attributes of those buttons, because there are 5. Here type, we have this button. So this type makes sure that those buttons are clickable. So you can click on the buttons and there is a reaction when you click. Again, we have this key here attribute. This key is to make sure that every star button here has a unique key value. So this is key 1 or index 1, same key 2 or index 2. So this key is to make sure that we don't mix up things. And here we have this class name attribute, and this is very interesting part. So as you can see, we have here an if statement. So we have inside it as a value if, for example, here the index is less than or equals to this hover or rating true, then the button will be on. This will be else off. So what this means is that when this index is less than or equals to hover over or rating, so the button is on. Let's come here, reload it. Let's go with the rating, for example. Whenever we bring the index here, like we are indexing, for example, here, index 4, because we have incremented the index here by 1. So let's say here index 4. Whenever we have our cursor here hover over this index, we have to make sure that those buttons are on. Or if we click on this one, so this will be the one will play. So this is the off. If this is false, this one will be off. And here we have this on click equals to set rating index. Whenever we come here, we click, everything less than or equals to the index where we have clicked should be on. That's what this on click is doing here. And with this set rating, as you know here, this set rating is the one updating the state of our rating. We have index here as its argument. Here on mouse enter. So whenever we bring this mouse here, what happens here, we set the hover over index. It will light those stars less than or equals to that index here. Like here, again is what's going on. And here on mouse leave, when the mouse is off from this div container or from those star buttons, what happens here, we set the hover over to rating. For example, if we have rated here 3 stars, even if when I hover 5 stars, when I leave there, it will go back to this because I didn't click on this. This is what this part is doing here. And this span, this is also a tag here with this class name attribute star. So those are the stars here. So this is the one giving us those stars. And next we have here this export default. We have exported here so that it can be imported in another file like this one. So it can be used here. Finally, we have this part, dot star rating. So we have the display here, flex and direction row. So is what's going on here. We displayed it in a flex and direction. This is a row direction. And what happens when this star rating is on, the color what we are doing is this gold. Whenever is this one, as you can see, is gold. And when it is off, is gray. So those two on and off are being used here, on and off, from this if statement. And next we have this star rating button. So those again to style those star buttons. So background, so is non-border, non-cursor, pointer. For example, when I send the cursor here, you can see like a small hand there. This is coming from this. Make sure to do the same. And so if you have some difficulties or questions, leave them down below. So if you find this tutorial helpful, don't forget to give a like and subscribe to this channel. See you next time. Bye.